Welcome to your journey of healing with the Healing Podcast, hosted by licensed clinician Monique Owe and co-host Dr. Amber Mohn.
Thank you for tuning in to the Healing Podcast. I am your host, Monique Owe, and I'm joined by my lovely co-host here,
Dr. Amber Mohn.
Okay, so today's topic is liar, liar. Well, I think everyone knows what a liar means. It means someone who is not telling the truth, right? And I mean, Dr. Mohn, I think, is it fair to say everyone has lied at some point?
I think it's fair to say that.
Okay. You know, we have those small lies. They say, Dr. Mohn, like the white lies, right? Oh, did you have the extra cookie? Oh, no. The doctor says, how many times do you work out? Oh, an hour every day, knowing you only work out maybe twice a week or nothing, right? So those ones, I don't think, Dr. Mohn, are those lies hurting anyone?
Typically, no.
Okay. Not really, right?
Right.
Those are not really hurting anyone. You know, on the application, they say how much is your income. You might raise it just a bit, right? When you're trying to get the car or the house, just a little bit, right? You might do a little estimate. I don't think those lies are really hurting anyone. Maybe they would hurt yourself, maybe with something like health-wise, if you're eating the cookies when you're not supposed to. But I think those lies, I mean, they happen, right? We've all done it. I don't think anyone can really say they've never stretched the truth a little bit. But we're not talking about the little ones. We're talking about when you have an issue with not telling the truth. And Dr. Mohn, if I could ask you real quick, just a quick opinion. What do you think? Why do people lie?
People lie for a lot of reasons, Monique. I mean, they can lie to get themselves out of an unpleasant situation or to get something that they want, something or someone that they want. People will lie to hurt others. People will lie to hurt you.
Yeah.
Or to even overcompensate for something.
Yep.
So
yep. That is very true. I mean, Dr. Mohn hit the nail on the head. I mean, all those reasons are why people lie. I don't know if you can figure out or get to the bottom of trying to get a true understanding why people lie, but what Dr. Mohn said is true. I mean, people, the self-image, they don't want to look negative in front of someone. So if I have to lie to preserve who I am or make myself look better, I'm going to do that, right? That's what people do. And when I say I'm not talking about me. I'm just saying, I'm just referencing people. Sorry. Some people have personality disorders, Dr. Mohn, pathological liars, compulsive liars, so they just can't even help it, right? That's just that disorder. They're just going to do it to protect the relationship, maybe? Protect someone's feelings, right? You don't want to hurt their feelings, so you might lie to them, like, oh, no, you're not really gaining weight.
Right.
Like, that one, like, even though your spouse or partners, you're getting a little bit on the unhealthy side, right?
Right.
Maybe also to help protect someone, they feel if I tell them the truth, then you might get in trouble legally. So I'm going to say, no, they were with me even though they weren't. That's a big lie. Maybe to avoid conflict, right? Dr. Mohn, you said they don't. If I want to avoid that argument, I'm going to lie about it, right? Did you cheat? No, I didn't cheat, So, and then some people just want gratification, right? It's easier for me to lie than to tell the truth because the truth will come with questions. And the lie just may solve something temporarily. And then, so people lie to impress people,
Yes.
Oh, you got that money? Yeah, I have all that money. Yeah, I have thousands, millions. You don't really have $1. But people do that to impress others. So those are reasons why people lie. My question would be, Dr. Mohn, why the burden? Because you got to keep up a lie, don't you?
Yes, and you have to remember it.
And you have to remember it. You have to remember it because you don't got to remember the truth because that's just what it was, right? But the burden to have to remember what you said, when you said it, or how you said it, that's got to be a lot, right, Dr. Mohn? So why would people choose that? Like, that's got to be a lot of pressure, to choose that. Like, okay.
That's a tough one. I can't say why.
Right. Okay. Fair enough.
Because I don't have a good memory.
Okay.
So I'm not a good liar. I've tried. I'm not a good one. But people do. And I don't know if it's the thrill of it, the reactions, whatever, but a lot of people do.
Right. I think so many people are fearful of saying the truth because they think they're going to be allegedly judged for like if they did something wrong. I mean, if you tell the truth about something you really did wrong, you may be afraid of that consequence. So you figure it's better for me to keep up the pressure of this lie than to face the consequence of the truth. But my thought with that would be, if you lie, eventually when that comes out, now you're going to have both consequences.
Yes.
The fact that you lied about the truth and then all that you caused because of that lie, that's going to be also your consequence. But I guess, like you said, instant gratification. I'd rather get the accolades now, right?
Yeah,
than deal with the pressure later. Like Dr. Mohn, here's a good one. What about you cheated on your best friend's, you and the spouse of your best friend got together. Your best friend asked you, hey, something suspicious. You guys look like you guys were texting or something. A person there is not going to admit it really, because they might lose the best friend who's been with them for years, right? They might lose their home, I guess, because they're going to probably, okay, now you're gone. So they might rather lie there, but what can happen because of that lie? I mean, the damage, right? What happens because of that lie? Does it do damage, Dr. Mohn, when a person seriously lies? Does it do damage?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. You can lose relationships, definitely lose trust. And I know that, people will peg you out to be a liar. That's Susie over there. She lie all the time. Or don't believe nothing she say because it's always going to be, you don't know what to believe. I'm sorry. I wouldn't want that label. So they'll still, communicate with you and, hang out with you or whatever, but they won't believe anything you say. And when you start telling the story or you start giving excuses, then they're giving each other the side eye like, there she go.
Yeah. She probably lying. They're lying,
Yeah.
That is true. I think you lose trust, right?
Yes.
So that's the consequence of doing that. So it doesn't just affect you. You may feel like it's not hurting anybody. No, it's hurting everybody that believed that lie, because sometimes those lies are serious, Dr. Mohn. You may have accused somebody of something that person didn't do, and everybody's believing you, so they turn against them, right? And now that person over there is suffering because of your lie.
Right.
So, I think another thing is, Dr. Mohn, really quick, do people get sucked into a lie?
Yes, you can. Get sucked into a lie, yes.
Okay. So maybe you didn't start out with the intention of lying, but someone suggested something to you, so you said, well, okay. And next thing you know, you're in a web of lies and you don't know how to climb out. They don't know what to do, Dr. Mohn. Once you get sucked in with that one, if you don't come right out and say, let me look, I messed up, you're going to be sucked into a web of lies, and you will do damage not only to yourself, but to someone else. You can destroy your life and other people's lives. So to carry all that, that's a lot. And the whys, I think whatever you think you're going to face, if you tell the truth, like maybe it will be prison time because you did something. But I think it's better to let that go and finally get that out the way than to carry that lie, because it's just going to make things worse.
Make it worse.
Right. So, but before we go deeper into that, let's go ahead and make a quick segue here. And we're going to go into, you guessed it, the situation. Dr. Mohn, what's our situation for today?
All right. Thank you, Monique. So here is our situation. Dear Healing Podcast, I feel like I think too much about people's opinion of me. It's to the point that it begins to stress me and cause slight anxiety. I am a pretty easygoing person. I don't create or like to be involved in conflict. At my job, I get along with most people, but there are some I don't gel with. We don't really interact or speak. My issue is, recently, I had a project that caused me to have to work with a couple of coworkers I don't gel with. I felt slightly disrespected in a way. For example, I had to send email after email to get things from them that I needed. When they submitted things, I had to send it back for correction, and it would take days for them to return the items. They gave me a lot of pushback on things. The project is now over, thankfully. However, I find myself constantly thinking about them and if they don't like me or what I did to them, etc. It's to the point that sometimes I feel like my blood pressure is going up because of it. I know this may seem insignificant for someone who is grown, but it bothers me. My question is, should I ask them directly what their issue is with me, report their behavior to my manager, or just let it go? Wow, thank you. This happens a lot. And so I appreciate you for, writing into the Healing Podcast. This one is tough, because I look at things like this, when I go to work, it is never my intention to make friends. It's work now, and I don't want to say all my years of working, but in the years that I have up under my belt and working, sometimes you do develop close relationships with people, and you do, have friends that you become, friends, you make friends at work that, you are friends outside of work. But I look at it like this. There are people who bring their lunch, their seafood to work, and they will heat that seafood up and would not care what people think about why they're eating any kind of seafood in the office. My suggestion to you is to come into work with that same attitude. You are at work to make money. And so when you come there, it sounds to me like you are very good at your job. Like you make sure it's done well. Some people may not like that. And so because of that, they may not like you. But it sounds to me like you're just good at your job and they may be hating a little bit. So what my suggestion to you is to come in there and continue to do, what you need to do. When you get into these projects with people and when they're giving you pushback, that's why you have a supervisor. You can sit down with your supervisor and say, hey, this is the plan. This is what we're doing. I haven't been able to get this. I know the deadline is this, so on and so forth. Continue to do your job. And if you don't talk to these people, because you already said we don't interact or speak. So when you get in that car every day to go home, they are not in your life. They are not the people who love you. They are not the people that you want to vacation with and spend time with. So don't spend time worrying about what they think of you. And so that's going to be my opinion. And I know I kind of got off on that.
No,
but
you did good, Dr. Mohn. That was a good one. I think that analogy was a good one. Just like people don't care about what my food if it's going to offend you.
Yeah.
You have to have that same mentality. So I think, thank you for writing into the Healing Podcast. And I want to say, well, here's the thing. Should you say something to your supervisor, I think you said, or care? I think that's the question. Well, here's the thing. You got the project done, so it's over now. Release that thing. Focus on what you've been doing. You've been doing a great job. Keep doing a great job. Yeah, don't worry about those folks. And I get that's hard to do sometimes because you at least want a peaceful work environment. Mm-hmm. Well, if your blood pressure is going up constantly because of it, then I think I would maybe consider switching departments if it's an opportunity to do so, or maybe even switching companies. But I understand sometimes that's not an option and you have a good package where you are. Well, here's the thing. If you can't turn off what they are doing, find a way to avoid them. Meaning, if you don't have to be in that area talking with them, don't. If your cubicle can be moved to another side, go over there to that other side. If you don't have to be in the break room, go have your breaks outside. Go enjoy outside life. Go sit in your car, during break times. If you don't have to go to every work function. So make it peaceful for you. As far as letting your supervisor know, well, let me say this. Most times, supervisors or managers or HR, they know the people who are problematic. So if you had to highlight it one day because it affected your work, my thing is I always say, no, stay out of it. You don't need to mention anything until it starts to affect your work. If that project would not have gotten done because of their behavior, they're lacking or they're slacking, yeah, I would say something. I'm like, well, look, I can't get this done because I've requested, here's my paper trail. I've requested email after email and I can't get what I need. So your project that the company wanted is going to be delayed. Yeah, I'm going to mention it because it's affecting my work, your work, not personal opinion, your work. So if something happens again where their behavior is affecting your own work, yes, mention it to someone. If your supervisor is their friend, you feel like, well, bring it up to HR then. HR is objective. They have to be objective by law. So do it that way and don't be fearful of it because trust me, if their behavior is that, it's probably been shown before. And next thing you know, you never know, they might be walking out that door. They may be walked out the door. So I would say if you can, focus on you. Like Dr. Mohn said, don't worry about them. But if you can't, try to make things peaceful for you. Different cubicle, different team, maybe different company if you can, or just only go into work and don't worry about anybody else. Like Dr. Mohn said, make it peaceful for you. Okay, so I hope that helped you. Hope that was helpful. Thank you again for writing in. And for those listening, if you'd like to write into the Healing Podcast and share your situation, please go to email support@thehealingpodcast.com or go to thehealingpodcast.com and hit the contact tab and submit your situation that way. Let's give a quick mention to our sponsor, which is healingexpressionsllc.com. If you're looking for therapeutic services in the Atlanta or Georgia area, please go on to healingexpressionsllc.com and book a therapeutic session today. All right, so Dr. Mohn, back into our topic of liar. We've talked about the reasons why people lie and the pressures that come from it. Dr. Mohn, so here's the thing. The damage that comes from lying can destroy people's lives, right?
Yes.
The people who were told the lie, their life, and the people whose lives are affected by the lie. And so my question would be, how can a person stop lying?
That's hard because it becomes a habit. I've seen and know people who have been lying so long that they lie more than they tell the truth. Their lying is like the truth.
Right.
So it might involve involve counseling. Sometimes you might have to, sit the liar down and say, look, if you can't, continue to tell the truth, then I'm going to have to distance myself away from you because, this is too much.
Yeah. I think, a way that you can stop lying, let me back up the damage that you're doing. You're doing damage to yourself. Mentally, you can't be good. Now, like I said, if you suffer from a disorder, pathological liar, compulsive, yes, you function in that way. You need therapy. But if you're not a person who suffers from it, but you just find yourself lying to protect yourself, well, let me show you what you're doing. I'm pretty sure you're suffering from anxiety, because you got to keep up the lie, depression, worry, fear that you're going to be found out, not at peace. It's no way you're at peace, because you know that you have been lying about something that's not only affecting you, it's probably affecting someone else. So you're not at peace. So I don't know if you have good sleep. I don't know if you have good rest at night. You may be able to get to sleep, but it's no way you can have good rest. Look at what you're doing to yourself. And the longer you keep the lie going, the less chance people probably can release all the damage that you did. So the way to stop lying, I would say, is tell the truth, right? Tell the truth. Now, don't tell the truth to someone that's going to support your lie, because they'll encourage your behavior and you'll feel okay. Tell the truth to someone usually who I would say, Dr. Mohn, is objective, who doesn't know them, because that way there's no opinion either way.
Right.
Tell the truth to someone who really doesn't know you. Like, look, this is what happened. One, that person won't have a judgment on you, right? They don't know, but they'll maybe help you. Okay, let's try to get this out the best way possible.
Right.
I think that's one way to stop lying. You're going to have to one day be bold and be courageous and say, I need to talk about something I really didn't tell the truth about. Even if you told like a half truth, but that half truth is mixed up with lies enough to where it's convoluted something, tell the truth. Tell the part like, look, I kind of added some detail here, mixed some things up to make stuff look a certain way, but it didn't happen like this at all. And I need to be truthful because I can't hold it anymore. I think, Dr. Mohn, once a person finally says the truth at the line, any positives that comes to them from that, from finally saying the truth?
I mean, I'm hoping, I know it might be a little uncomfortable, but I mean, you feel there's nothing, there's no,
like relieved?
Yeah, you feel relieved.
Right.
You should feel relieved and happy that, you're able to just tell the truth and that you're not being judged, or it is what it is.
Yep, I think it's finally out there so you can feel, like Dr. Mohn would say, like, I don't no longer have to be found out.
Yeah.
This is it. Now you know,
Yes.
and people will go from there.
Yes.
And I think many things can be forgiven. It just takes time, many times. I mean, we've seen some of the worst criminals come out and they've been able to turn their life around, and people don't really worry about what that thing was anymore. Right? Some of them. We're not talking about heinous crimes. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about people who have stolen money from people and they had to make restitution and they made up for it and they changed their behavior. Well, people don't worry about that thing anymore. So my thing is, yes, eventually you might have a consequence, but people will respect you more for finally telling the truth. So you'll be relieved, I think, from that. You'll be at peace, probably more. It'll finally be, the pressure will be taken off. And now that it's out there, people will have then a choice if they want to stay connected to you or not. But you can always make new people that will meet the new you who is always truthful. So healing tip, get with some therapy, confide in somebody objective, realize that things can be okay. That to tell the truth. That's how you can start with a lie and stopping the behavior. Dr. Mohn, anything else a person can do to stop lying that you can think of?
Thank you. No.
Okay. All right. So before we go, I'm going to go ahead and leave you with this. Tell a lie once and all of your truths become questionable. Okay. So we want to thank you for tuning into the Healing Podcast and for your support, and talk to you soon. Bye-bye.